All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Barely Legal Podcast.
Oh, you got it right.
I'm your host, Robbie, and this is my co-host, V. We're going to get right into the leading story of today, or whenever you listen to this, it'll probably still be the story. We have this woman named Asia Argento, and she is one of the leaders of the Me Too movement, one of the first people to come out against Harvey Weinstein. And as it turns out, she has a scandal of her own. She's accused of molesting a 17-year-old boy who was under the age of consent. And furthermore, she had sexual contact with him in the form of intercourse and fellatio, according to the report. And just off the bat, the number one issue is they're calling it sexual assault, but I think in this case they should actually call it, if the allegations are true, statutory rape, because there is no argument. When you violate the statute of underage sex, it's statutory rape.
Is it allegations? Because I thought...
There's a settlement. There's a settlement. Okay. But check this out. I'm gonna keep going on this story, and then we'll talk about it. So the update to the story is that she paid this kid off. That's what the New York Times reported. Well, she gave a statement today saying that Anthony Bourdain paid this kid off.
She said what?
She said Anthony Bourdain.
Don't bring his name into it, bitch. What?
So there's like nowhere.
Because you know that's
he said that basically he said this kid is broke. That's what she was trying to say, that the kid was broke, and he felt like the kid was trying to come up. This is what she's saying in his words. So she's saying that he decided to pay this kid off, but that she didn't want to.
Who is she to him? To Anthony Bourdain?
His ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, that's his ex-girlfriend.
I don't like her. I don't like her. I'm sorry. Don't mention him. Like, what? Like, he can't even defend himself? Like,
nobody can corroborate this story, but here's the thing.
Nobody.
But here's the thing. All these men that came out and were like, yo, this isn't true, we assume that they were guilty, right? I mean, as a society, we have assumed that they were guilty, but she doesn't want us to assume that she's guilty. Always believe the victim. And this guy didn't even come out. It's the New York Times that reported this. It wasn't even the kid. So he hasn't even made a public statement about it. So she doesn't want us to assume that she's guilty. So, I mean, double standard much is my first thing. And then, as you were saying, Rose McGowan came out and said, whoa, let's wait to judge her. Let's wait.
And then after, she ended that tweet like, be kind. And it's like, wait, what? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to defend any, like, Harvey Weinstein or anybody, but my whole thing is, like, y'all was going hard. And then all of a sudden, one of yours, and I'm sure there's probably a lot more other women, but what you mean be kind? Like, what? Because this is your friend, and because this is a woman, and because she too was also part of the movement and like a leader in it, but you're saying to be kind about it?
They're releasing articles, like straight up. They got articles, hold on. They got articles where essentially they're talking about mental illness. They're talking about what would cause a person who was hurt to hurt other people. So they're going through all these steps, and except doing those articles where they just condemn her. Because they're like, this does not hurt the Me Too movement. Like, everybody is on damage control, even the news, because it doesn't fit their narrative. And no one's talking about this kid. No one's talking about the damage to him, because this woman had access to this kid since he was young, right? So he's 17 now. That's when he said the alleged incident happened. But she had access to this kid when he was a little kid, because they did a movie together. Or was it a show or a movie? So she's known this kid since he was like 7. So you don't know what happened or anything like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So what Harvey Weinstein did was horrible. But that doesn't factor into this. You were judged on your face. I'm sure if we look into Harvey Weinstein's past, we can say something bad happened to him, because most people have had bad things happen to him, but that doesn't excuse bad behavior. Nothing excuses bad behavior, right? So this woman is, she was like 30-something when she molested this kid? I know she was like 20 years older than him, so I think she was like 37 or something. It's freaking crazy, man.
I just can't get over, but that's society, that's Hollywood. They they say what they want to say, see what they want to see. But when it's, someone on their side, it's like, oh, well, let's get all the facts straight. Let's make sure first. Let's not ruin someone's career. Ugh.
Just so you know, the movement is still strong. And it's like, what do you mean the movement is still strong? That kid is part of the movement.
Yeah.
The movement hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you feminized the movement. You made it a feminist thing when it's an everybody thing. Mm-hmm. People get abused every day.
Every day.
Why did the movement stop? Why does this contradict the movement? All it does is show that women are perpetrators too. And I've known that. I've had buddies that have been raped by women. That have been, as kids, were molested by women. Women touching them when they were like 7 years old, their babysitters touching them. Like, so many dudes I know. I knew dudes who went to camp and had women touch them. You know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't make sense that we're trying to recraft the narrative. The narrative should always have been that people in power victimize those who are weaker than them.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but it happens too frequently.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna leave that right there and move on to our next topic. That is Teyana Taylor and somebody else, Jeramih.
Oh, Jeramih.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were like going back and forth because she decided she didn't want to be a part of the tour anymore. Which honestly, I didn't even know they were on tour together. I thought, because I knew she just put out new music, but I don't really listen to him like that. So I was just like, oh, cool, they're on tour together, whatever. But she was just saying that the whole thing was just very unprofessional, and like pretty much everyone there comes to see her, and like they kind of had her not as like the opening act, but like she was performing first, but yet she was the one bringing in like, all the money basically. And she was just like, yeah, well, F it. I'm not going to do this anymore. This is just too unprofessional. Like, it was just, calling him lazy and all this stuff. And that just went on back and forth since like last week or something like that. And of course her husband like had to pitch in because he posted something. Jeramih tried to like come back at Teyana Taylor. But, she's very, I like her. I do like her. I think she would be fun to hang out with. I don't really care for Jeramih for other reasons, but.
All right, fun fact. I went to school with Jeramih. Went to U of I together. Crazy, right? And I remember when he used to perform in the middle of step shows and nobody would watch because if you're not famous, you can have good music, but if you're not famous, nobody's listening.
Yeah.
You could literally have Erykah Badu's discography. And if you perform it in the middle of, if you perform it and nobody knows who you are, they ain't listening. And the only time people really listen is when they get older. I see you trying to put it down gently. You're trying to put that like metal down before.
I don't want to break it.
No, it's a sound filter.
Yeah, but apparently, like, I don't know when this was, like, over the weekend or whenever her last show was, she brought out Rachel, who is Jeramih's baby mama, but he don't really, allegedly he don't claim her, but I feel like I have to say allegedly, but yeah. And people were saying that was just in poor taste and disrespectful and all this stuff.
That just sounds like that Tekashi 6ix9ine stuff where he's taking the chick shopping.
Yeah.
It just seems like coming after people's families and stuff like that is.
Oh, but they don't have a relationship though. So.
Nah, but like, because Chief Keef didn't have a relationship with this chick.
That one.
Yeah, but that's just like a thing where people are trying to best each other. That's just petty. I don't really know anything about the situation other than what you tell me, but that just sounds petty to me. Because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people's families, and if this person allegedly didn't care enough to talk about their baby mama or to take care of their baby mama, then what makes you think that bringing her on stage is going to hurt him? All you're doing is minimalizing her. You're hurting the kid. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these things end up just hurting the kid. It ends up being a detriment to the child's development, which I don't agree with. The other issue that I'm seeing now is like Nicki Minaj, Safari, and Tiger. Did you hear about that?
I didn't want to read up or listen to any of that because her voice is, I don't know. I can't really get down with that. Like, I can't listen to her voice for too long. But I feel as though she is just on a whole nother level. And it's like, why do you keep bringing up the pet? Like, her and Safari got into, and it's like, why?
Ever since she got ethered, or sheathered, she's been like ruthless on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because like she used to just be like, I'm getting money, but now
and
she's
not
like,
say anything. Now it's like, wait, she's responding, clapping back. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're on a whole nother level.
You are a horrible human being. That's why the hair plugs didn't work and your hair fell out. I mean, you nodding because you heard it.
I mean,
I
did. I heard it, but it's just like, but it's like but my whole thing is like, you're on a whole. I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about like, once you reach a certain level, it's like, focus on your money, like focus on like bettering yourself. Like, y'all haven't been together for how long, but yet you're still talking about him. And it's like,
they were together for 11 years, though, I think.
I mean, I get it, but that's, the past is the past.
He time to sit like Takashi calling Poppy.
That makes the roof of my mouth itch.
What does?
She did that. She performed that too during the VMAs as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad his ass didn't get out. I would have changed the channel if she would have brought.
Well,
him
the
out.
thing is, the reason why she performed it, even though it's not her song, is that people were saying her voice was dope, or her verse was dope on that song. That's why she performed it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the standards of rap are anymore. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on Mos Def. I grew up on what do you call it? Brand Nubian. Like, people used to actually just spit lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not the one to speak to what people think rapping is now. Even like Eminem, Joe Budden, like people used to actually spit lyrics. Now our kids will not say, like, if you're not mumble rapping, you consider dope now. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I can't really speak to it.
Do you think, this is random, do you think everyone that like does the mumble rap, do they like, are they like on something?
Yeah, it's like
so that's
rap.
why. So that's why.
That's not why
like
they
that?
mumble.
Oh, okay.
It's a style, but yeah, it's like it's popular to pills. This is my thing, and I'm gonna get off on a tangent, but it is what it is. Side issue.
Whatever. Most
kids are. I don't want to say most kids, but it is very popular to medicate children. So you cannot be surprised when kids start naming themselves Little Xanax. You can't be surprised when kids start talking about doing legal drugs.
Yeah.
When they start talking about doing barbiturates. When they start talking about doing Adderall and stuff like that, because this is what's being prescribed to them. And the thing is, these things have the same effect. In certain instances, like cocaine, heroin, some of this stuff has the same effect.
Yeah.
Meth. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to be like, on one instance, like older rappers are mad because they're like, yo, we used to talk about selling drugs, not doing drugs. But on the other hand, it's like, yo, this is the world that we created for them, where most of those kids are medicated. So their minds are going to be altered, and the way they interact with the world is just going to be different, completely different.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's all to say that there's no excuse for Nicki Minaj, because I don't think I don't know what. Here's the thing. All right, so I'm sorry. Let me get back on this topic before I get back on Nicki Minaj. I might not even say no more about Nicki Minaj, but here's the thing. I was on an argument with this dude at work today. And I have this huge problem because mental health thing, they're trying to do this mental health awareness. Everyone has mental health issues, according to this new thing. Everybody's got mental health issues. And I have a problem with this because I think that when you tell everyone that they have mental health issues, people begin to self-diagnose, right? So I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop these shootings. But there are so many other things to stop shootings, like the village mentality where everyone's raising the children. There's so many things that we can do to stop the shootings. Gun control, maybe, like, just stuff like that. But when people start saying, oh, we need to get mental health treatment, I think that we are kind of like, because there's like this group hypnosis where someone says, yo, you got a problem, everyone thinks they got a problem. And the thing that, like, everyone feels depression at some point in their life. If it's not prolonged, then it's just it's not an affective disorder, it is adjustment disorder. Adjustment disorder means that you're sad because something caused you to be sad. But once you face that period of sadness, you should no longer be sad. If you continue to be sad, then it's full-fledged depression or whatever you might have. So the thing that bothers me is that everyone has been diagnosing everyone with schizophrenia. And I was arguing with the dude at work because I was telling him about the symptoms that this person had that I knew. And he was like, oh, that sounds like schizophrenia. And I was just like, that's not schizophrenia. Like hearing voices is not schizophrenia. Like, you could hear voices if you're schizophrenic, but you could be going through psychosis. You could be depressed and have psychosis. You could be anxious and have extreme paranoia. But then, no, that's a paranoid schizophrenic. And it really bothers me because like, he was telling me all these different stories, and he's like, that's schizophrenic. And so, like, I think schizophrenia is overdiagnosed. It's overdiagnosed, and there's articles talking about how it's overdiagnosed in the black community. And I know people personally who've been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and when they've seen an actual medical expert, they've been like, no, you're just bipolar, right? And so the difference between bipolar and schizophrenia is vast, right? Like, schizophrenics damn near have to be put in an institution a lot of the times. Like, you have to be heavily medicated, put in institutions. And schizophrenics only make up 1% of the world's population. Not just the U.S. population, the entire world's population. Schizophrenics only make up 1%. And you say, okay, well, let's account for error. So maybe 2% of the population. So going around saying somebody who hears voices is schizophrenic is extremely annoying to me, because everyone at some point, if you're religious or if you feel inspired, hears voices. Those are called audiovisual hallucinations. They happen with any mental disorder, and they can just happen normally. People can just feel like they heard something. But I used to get really annoyed because I worked with mental health patients, right? I'm not saying that I'm a mental health expert. I'm not a therapist. But I work with mental health patients, so it just bothers me that people talk about mental illness and people are self-diagnosing themselves with depression and stuff like that, when in actuality it's probably like an adjustment disorder, and like, you need to go see. I'm not going to keep rambling on and on and on. Anyway,
that really bothered you.
It did, man.
Yeah.
I had to let it out, man, because I wanted to like really argue with this dude, because he was trying to convince me this guy was a schizophrenic, and I was like, he's not a schizophrenic. Like, I don't know if you know a schizophrenic, and so like, it traumatized you, so you're so quick to it doesn't matter. Actually, I can't tell. I actually can't tell. He might be mixed or something, but but just because like, because I went on a date with some chick, and I was like, man, I had this dream about this, and it inspired me to do this. And she's like, yo, that sounds like schizophrenia. And I was like, I had a dream about something? I didn't say like I was awake and I saw somebody walk in the door that wasn't really there. And even if I did see somebody walk in the door that wasn't really there, that don't mean I'm schizophrenic.
Exactly.
That's called an audiovisual hallucination, which if you take a mental status exam, that's part of every mental status examination. Are you having any audiovisual hallucinations? Like, people don't go through like your global assessment of functioning. They don't talk about what your GAF score is. They don't talk about like how your social functioning is. Do you have how your concentration, persistence, and pace is? They don't talk about your activities of daily living. They don't do this stuff. They just say, you know what, that sounds like schizophrenia. That's like, oh, yo, you schizo, man, you schizo. And I'm just like, yo, man, you can't say that to people, because people internalize and start thinking they're schizo.
Yeah.
Damn. Yo, let me woosah for a second. Let me woosah. But anyway, all right. So let me see what the next topic is.
We could keep talking about the VMAs for a quick second, because I just want you.
You want to talk about
Jennifer Lopez's performance?
Yeah, I didn't
It was
see
amazing. I don't know why you haven't seen it. I sent you the link, but it was amazing. And you know, I'm not a big concert goer, but she made me want to go to one of her concerts. Like, I forgot she's been around for a long time.
She's Jenny from the block.
And she did that song.
She's Jenny from the block.
And that's
she's
like,
been around the block.
It's so funny because my boyfriend was like, damn, she had some hits. I'm like, yeah. And then she brought out Ja Rule. Because I saw like the camera panting.
Did he say Rule Baby?
Did he? Probably.
He said it in every song back in the day. Every song was
like
Rule Baby
the
here.
camera panned to him earlier.
Rule Baby
early
there.
into the show. And I'm just like, is that Ja Rule? Why is he there?
It ain't even a question. How about those blow? You good? You got
No, but she did an amazing job. Like, for real. Like, she did a really
on a
good
scale
job.
of 1 to Beyonce, how good was her job?
See, now, I'm not going to put them on the same level. However.
On a scale of 1 to Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson's higher than Beyonce.
No, okay, time out. Okay, wait, we can't do that either. Okay, like if there was like a top level and there's like 5 women that are, no, how many women you said Beyonce? But
you don't have to classify them just as women. You could just say performers, like straight up.
Okay.
Michael Jackson's the
She's
peak.
up there.
Michael Jackson's the peak.
No, I'll have to say Jennifer Lopez is up there.
With Michael Jackson?
No. I'm saying up there with I'm saying with the top perform with the top performer.
Man, you almost.
I'm not. No one's up there with him. Which side note? Did you hear how? And I actually heard was reading about this earlier. Sam Smith, like, what's his name? Another dude he's friends with? I'm Adam somebody. Was on his Snapchat and he was playing a Michael Jackson song and he like panned to him and he looked in the camera and he was like, I like this song but I don't like Michael Jackson. And like you could hear everyone in the background like and then the thing cuts out. I was just like, oh buddy, you done messed up. But anyways, I wasn't saying she's up there with him, but she is, I would say, like one of the top performers. Like, yeah. And I don't know that many, like Beyonce, Michael Jackson, but he's not alive. Jennifer Lopez. I haven't been to a Bruno Mars concert. Well, I haven't been to many concerts, but I feel like I've heard a lot of people say Bruno Mars is another one. That's a good time.
Black on Mars.
Who else?
You know I don't. I got issue with Bruno Mars,
yeah,
man.
I know.
That dude steals so much from black people, and every black person will tell you up and down. They'll be like, no, he's black. Like his like great grandfather was black. That's why he only does black songs.
But yeah. After she performed, she accepted the award. The reason why she was performing because she received that whatever Vanguard Award or whatever, which people thought Missy Elliott should have received. But anyways, I bet you she gets it next year. But anyways.
Okay. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Missy Elliott was innovative. You know what? Yeah, Missy.
Isn't that the whole purpose of the award?
No, but I was gonna shade Missy Elliott, but now I was
don't shade. Don't do her because there's a few people who I like stand for, like very few that I actually like.
Missy Elliott.
Very few people that actually.
Okay, tell me why you stand for Missy Elliott.
I'm not gonna sit here and have a whole conversation about that, but I'm just saying there are a few people back in the day where I actually like went and bought like the CDs, and she was like,
"That's your cousin."
I mean,
that's your niece.
I
Tracy's
mean, Missy is the one to bring like the best side to the family picnic.
You're not telling me. Here's the thing, and this is I wasn't trying to shade Missy Elliott. My thing is this. My thing has always been this. I come from a lyrical era. You know this, and I love Missy Elliott. This ain't no shade. Like I'm saying, it's not shade. Missy Elliott was like Puff Daddy. She an entertainer, but so it's like and that's why I stopped because I was like J-Lo doesn't have lyrics. J-Lo doesn't have good music. I'm sorry, J-Lo doesn't have good songs. I'm sorry. I'm still Jenny from the block. I mean, used to have a little, now I have a lot. But that's some garbage. Like, I'm sorry.
But
waiting for tonight.
I mean, I was about to make a comment about Beyonce, but I don't want the Beehive coming after me. But whatever.
Yo,
I'm just like.
I mean, Beyonce don't write a song.
If you're a good performer, that to me.
Every Beyonce album is music school. Like they just teach her how to perform it. They teach her how to sing it. They write it for her, and she's just doing her homework. Like she doesn't do any homework.
Are you trying to get the Beehive?
I don't care, man. I don't care. Like, look. Nobody said like, yo, when you're the top student, what do you do? When you're the top student in the school, what do you do?
I mean,
is any of that knowledge you spit on a page attributed to you? No, it's just not. All the knowledge you spitting on the page is memorization of rogue facts, where somebody's like, "This is this is gravity, negative 9.81 meters per second squared. This is the Revolutionary War. This is our history. This is Emily Dickinson." All you're doing is repeating and regurgitating things that were told to you, and you're repeating it the way the teacher wants to hear it. That's Beyonce. Like she doesn't have a voice when it comes to music. Somebody writes it for her.
See, I'm not gonna.
Hey, tell me what Beyonce's voice is besides Beyonce makes music for women who break up in relationships and think none of it was their fault. That's exactly who she targets in every single song. It's like, yo,
I just want to say, everything you own,
let you go.
I just want to say I'm not talking about Beyonce. I like
say
Beyonce.
what I want.
I will say like her music, it does have it takes a while to
My
grow
daddy
on
said
me.
shoot. My daddy said shoot. I'm like, get the F out of here. Did your daddy say shoot? Because if your daddy didn't say shoot, someone wrote that song for you, and they had to actually shoot because their daddy told them to shoot. Not your daddy, their daddy. Your daddy was a businessman. He didn't tell you to shoot.
Man.
He told me not to cry, my dad said shoot. People act like I don't actually listen to the album. That's the thing.
I know.
I listen to it. I'm not just going. I'm not just going to say something that I don't understand, right? Just like you know me, I don't like Taylor Swift. But I never knocked her for being a bad. Like, Taylor Swift writes her songs. Red is a dope album. I would say right now, Red's a dope album. Everything else about Taylor Swift is self-centered. Everything else is about her. I'm 22. Today was a fairy tale for me. I knew you were trouble before I met you. I knew you were trouble. Like, damn, the whole album is about you? Goodness gracious. Her whole album is a therapy session. And then she goes on and does another album with the exact same type of song. So it's not hard for her to write music. Because she does that. And all she does is play the guitar. I don't know how she gets writing so much of the writing credits when all she does is play guitar. Like, her songs have, like, beats in it. They got, like, tambourines in it. They got that techno mix, and it's, like, written by Taylor Swift. How the F did she get all the writing credits? And her songs be super, super simple. I stay out too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. Mm-hmm. It's just like, get the F out of here with that stuff, man. That's just so basic. But I used to go on Alicia Keys. Because she can play the piano, she can sing. No, I'm gonna be real.
That was another one back in the day.
Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. When Alicia Keys came out, her music, her piano was dope. Her voice was dope. She had a deep voice. She sang high. She had range. But lyrically, the stuff she was saying was so basic. You understand? Listen to Alicia Keys. Like, X out the fact that she has a beautiful voice. X out the fact that she's playing the piano beautifully. She's like a Juilliard talent. X out all that and just listen to the words. And put her next to Erykah Badu.
I mean, you can't do that, though.
Just put her next to Erykah Badu.
But
what goes around comes around. What goes on? What? Who's crying? Now listen to Erykah Badu talking about I'm an Orange Moon. Talking about Call Tyrone. Come on, man.
See, but you had like
listen to some Jill Scott. India Arie.
Okay, that's my I will go there.
Where are all your people from?
India Arie. Now that's
maybe
my bitch.
Mississippi.
That's
what I'm saying.
And I'm not
Janelle Monáe. Like, there's some talented women out there who have a voice. And they don't get to shine because everyone else is a gimmick. Like, Beyonce's a gimmick. Like, Beyonce bites Michael Jackson. Even her flashy clothes, like, she bites Michael Jackson. She bites Janet Jackson. And it's like, and she's an amalgamation of everything that every single, like, designer, every single, what do you call it? Media personality. What do they call them? People that control your media, a media consultant. It's like all that they create for her and they make her an image. And people are like, Beyonce, she's our black hero. And it's just like, yo, there's so many talented black women out there. There's so many talented black men out there. And you got these people on The Voice who are out there like, yo, these people could probably write some dope music. And we're not talking about Ruben Studdard, though, because he was whack. This is my story for 2004.
Ruben!
Just apologize. How's your first song an apology? Your first song should just do like 2 Chainz. Just keep saying your name over and over again. Ruben!
Congrats to him and his wife.
I don't know what's going on in that man's life.
He just got married.
You know who had dope music? Freaking Kelly Clarkson had some dope songs.
Like, I don't know any other winners. Anyone else, runner-ups, anyone else. She, is the shit. What did she just host, last year? I don't know. I don't remember what did she host. Was it the Grammys? I don't know. Maybe it was the Grammys. I don't know. But she can sing.
Erykah Badu can sing. So I just...
Oh, yeah.
Nah. When I say Erykah Badu can sing, people are like, yeah, she can sing.
No,
this woman was like she was auditioning for The Voice, man. I seen her sing. She was hitting this high note. I glass in my hand. I thought it was gonna break. I thought she was gonna break my glasses. She was hitting that high note. And she was getting into it, man. She's one of them like sisters who like really like they are their music. Like even like as much as I shade Lauryn Hill for not showing up for a thing, Lauryn Hill is her music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you don't see Beyonce being like, I'm not in the creative zone. It's like because people are writing that stuff for her. I don't know, man. It's like you see some of these, especially black female artists, who are like Sylvester Stallone or Rocky. Like, I made this movie. I wrote it. I want to star in it. This is my voice. But like with Beyonce, it's not that. And it's just like, yo, you can step away from that. But like, is Destiny's Child your voice? Like, at what point do we hear your voice other than the angry thing?
I will say I'm a huge Destiny Child's fan over a Beyonce fan. Like,
I like Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
I fool with Destiny's Child.
But I'm talking about when it was like just the three.
But I'm not gonna put Destiny's Child over like Aaliyah. I'm not gonna put. I'm not putting it over Mary J. I'm going down. I'm going down.
You felt everything.
My goodness.
Everything.
Oh my. Everything Mary J. Blige said in the 90s. Man.
You felt.
You know how many black people have heart disease because of Mary J. Blige, who grew up in the 90s and they just like have heart murmurs and stuff like that because they grew up listening to Mary J. Blige music?
Man.
Real Love. That song, Real Love, made me think the woman I was with at the time was the love of my life. We heard that song, Real Love. We're like, damn, that's us. Yo, that's us. Like, she's talking about us. Like, somehow she saw us walking in the supermarket. And, like, that's us. Like, Mary J. knows us. She does. It's us.
And how long did that last?
I don't know, like 2 months.
Oh, okay.
It was like a real love for 2 months.
Oh, yeah. Those.
Then she cheated on me.
Oh, bitch.
Maybe that was her real love.
I don't even know her. Raggedy ass hoe.
He piped her down. He gave her the gilded piping. He gave her
I hope the next time she like goes to the grocery stores and she tries to carry all her bags at once, they break in her hands. That was rude.
Yeah, but she was walking funny because he gave her pipe. He gave her.
He probably gave her something.
No, he gave her like Mario pipe. He gave her that 4 years of college and a graduate degree pipe.
Oh.
He gave her that what's that? He gave her that Major Pain pipe.
Oh my god.
What we have here is a failure to communicate. He's giving her that pipe, man. It is what it is, man.
I like that movie. That was the one time Hillary wasn't like ditzy, and I don't know her name or Karen.
She wasn't ditzy in Ladies Man.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see Ladies Man?
I haven't seen a lot of things.
Your butt look like 2 Christmas hams. You haven't seen Ladies Man? That's funny. No. It's like Pootie Tang. You gotta be in the mood to watch it. Pootie, don't go. Oh, this stuff is so funny. Anyway, let me get back on track with this, man.
I don't even know what we were talking about. But Beehive don't come for us, but it's okay if you do.
Hey, come for me. I'm not gonna be like Tekashi. Hey, yo, I want smoke. I want smoke. I want no smoke, Beyonce fans. I'm just a man with an opinion. Alright, so my co-host wanted to talk about MoviePass and how it's trying not to go under, but the whole point of MoviePass, you know, this is the thing, little does she know that I am quite well versed in MoviePass.
Did you get it when it before they did the changes?
I didn't get MoviePass before the changes because I researched MoviePass.
Oh, why didn't you get it?
Tell me,
no. Tell me, why didn't you? No, you're a movie goer, so why didn't you?
I'm actually not a movie goer.
What the fuck?
I watch movies, but I haven't in a while.
You always talk about
I'm in moods. I get in moods.
Well, you've been in the mood.
Sometimes I like
lately.
Jill Scott. Sometimes I like India Arie. Sometimes I like them both. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so why didn't you do the movie?
Sometimes I like Martin Lawrence. Sometimes I like Eddie Murphy. Sometimes I watch Coming to America. Sometimes I watch Beverly Hills Cop.
Coming to America?
Sometimes I watch Twilight. Sometimes I watch
Coming
Harry
to
Potter.
America or Beverly Hills Cop?
Coming to America.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Now, I like Beverly Hills Cop 3, but I think it didn't get the props it deserved.
I liked all of them, but Coming to America, yeah.
Coming to America or Taken?
Coming to America.
I don't know about that one. Taken's one of those movies, like, if I want to just see, like, carnage by, like, one elderly gentleman. I have a very particular set of skills.
Yeah.
He always has, like, a strong... He's Irish, right? North
so,
Irish,
yeah.
or he's, like, Irish?
I don't know.
Not that Northern Ireland is in Ireland. I'm just saying it's part of it.
Yeah.
Now, I used to go to school in Ireland, so I don't want to, like... I don't want to upset any of my peoples out in Ireland, so... But anyway, so...
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Movie Pass.
Why didn't you get it?
All right, so here's the thing about Movie Pass. Movie Pass started a while back. I think it's been out for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
I think 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, because this was before I moved. But the thing about Movie Pass was their plan was never to survive. It's never been to survive.
It was never, but why did they have it set up like that?
Because Movie Pass is a middleman to collect user data. Movie Pass is a middleman to collect data, and then they become a data brokering firm. So essentially what they're trying to do is get data on demographics, who sees what movies, and, you know what I'm saying, the frequency with which they see movies, things like that. And then they were planning on making a deal with a third party so that they are subsidized by third parties to continue doing what they do.
Okay.
Problem is...
But they were relying on, because of that, they have to...
Well, I mean, it's a business strategy, so it all has to go the way they foresee it going in order for it to sustain itself. They should have gone on Shark Tank first, I guess. But the problem here is this. That's the reason why I didn't fool with Movie Pass, because I don't care if they know that I watched The Meg 5 times. I didn't watch The Meg 5 times. I haven't
Did
seen
you see
it yet.
it? I was about to
I'm
say, have you seen it?
no.
I do want to watch it. I don't want to pay for it, though.
Yeah, well, you're going to have problems seeing a movie if you don't want to pay for it. But
I do have Fandango credit, but keep going.
It's true, but at some point you paid into Fandango, so you would be paying for it. So yeah, so
Don't like you.
now that's all to say that they had a plan set up so where they would undercut the movies, you would buy their plan, continue to see the movies. What they did not foresee is that the movie industry is taking a huge hit. Several reasons why they're taking a huge hit. You have people protesting because of diversity. You have women asking for roles, more money, which it's going to impact the budget of the film. Not saying that they don't deserve the same amount. I'm just saying it's going to impact the budget of the film. Even to the point where I'm listening to actors say, like, you used to be able to do whatever you wanted. You used to be like, yo, I want all red M&Ms with peanuts. But now, even the actors are put on a budget. Everybody has to be on time. All this other stuff because the movie industry is like functioning at its bare minimum because it's getting that's what I'm saying. So it's getting beat by streaming services. It's getting beaten by premium television. It's getting beat by Hulu. I said streaming services, so I said that twice. It's getting beaten by. There's so many sporting events at this. There's so many sporting events going on right now. So, and it's also getting the movie industry is taking a hit because there's only certain franchises that are deemed worthy to see in the theater. I mean, you have bootlegging, you have streaming, you have all these things that are causing it to take a hit. So now they're taking everything seriously, especially AMC. So people are suing Movie Pass, or they are an attempt to invalidate it. So AMC started their own program. It's not as cheap as Movie Pass.
Is that PayStub or something like that? What is it called?
No, it's not called PayStub. PayStub is a payment thing.
No, it's like stub amount, stub something, right?
That Stubs is their reward.
Oh,
the Stubs is.
I knew it was stub something. Okay, but just
Stub. But yeah, so Movie Pass is probably seeing a short life, and I don't think it's gonna really do much.
I think they're gonna end up filing for bankruptcy because they.
I doubt they file for bankruptcy. They'll probably sell. I'm gonna go file or sell. What you think? They got members, so I think that people would want.
Yeah, but they just changed it like not too long ago because before you can see like any movies, and then they changed it again, and then now it's like I think you can only see like 3 in a month or something like that. So they keep cutting the number of movies that.
But they never had the budget to do what they were doing. It was only like a pilot thing to initially get a bunch of people to sign up for it.
And that's what happened.
It's the same with Netflix. Netflix used to be super cheap, and now it's just like more and more. And then there's an entertainment tax in Chicago. So if you get Netflix in Chicago, it's even more expensive.
I live in Oak Park, so.
Holler. Holler.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
The Bible says Hebrews.
I just remember when that first came out. I'm like, I don't think this company's gonna last long. Like, this just don't make any sense to me.
Wasn't meant to last long. It's like a what do you call that when someone's?
I give it another year.
It's not. It wasn't meant to last though. It's just in my opinion, and from researching it, I don't think it was meant to last. It was meant to be like a. I don't like saying Hail Mary because I'm not Catholic and I didn't really even know what it means. So like, I really have no idea what it means. It's akin to that thing where they're trying to get as much user data as possible and get as much as possible in a short amount of time that it is around.
I'm gonna stay focused and not go off on a tangent. Because I was just about to bring up Geostorm because he was like, all right, this is about to be our Hail Mary, but I'm not going to talk about it.
I think Tupac talked about Hail Mary too. And I don't know if Tupac was Catholic. I think it's just become a phrase, and I have no idea. But I know, like, if you do something bad, you're supposed to say something like Hail Mary or something. And I only know that from watching John, that movie where that dude was addicted to masturbating. What was that movie called? Don Juan. That movie, Don John. That movie's hilarious. Mm-hmm. He would, like, have sex with women and then go into the other room and masturbate. Ew. He would, like, watch porn and masturbate. Anywho, we're going to go on to our next topic.
Which is?
It is no discipline, no service policy.
Yeah, because we just you bring it up because I agree with you on this one. Go ahead.
So no, you disagree with me at first, but
but then you convinced me like, nah, that's a great policy. I like it.
All right, so Via disagreed with me about public disciplining of kids, right? So she's like, don't touch other people's kids.
No. Time out, because we're talking about two different things. I'm saying, like I was saying before, other people like in your family shouldn't be able to hit your kid. That's what I'm saying. You're talking about complete strangers, and I agree with your policy for the complete strangers. That's
all right. So I'm gonna. So she doesn't think people should be able to put their hands on your kids. And so
like an aunt or an uncle is what I'm saying.
So I presented this situation where this is what I saw. So this kid, no parents around. Obviously, it's a kid rolling with a bunch of kids. It's the summertime. So it's dwindling.
How old was he?
He had to be from 7 to 10 years old.
Okay.
And there was this older woman coming in the store, and he's riding his bike in Jewel. And so he's riding his bike in Jewel, and he rides his bike through, because in Jewel, it's like an entrance and there's an exit. You're not supposed to go out the entrance. Mm-hmm. It won't open. Mm-hmm. You got to wait for someone to come in the entrance. Mm-hmm. So these kids are like riding their bike around, and they're like riding their bike through the little entrance lobby thing. So this lady's walking in. He rides his bike straight into her. So the wheel of his front wheel is between her legs, and she's like trying to she's like, oh, whoa. He's like, excuse me. And she's like, whoa, like literally his wheel. And so this kid, and she's like, excuse me, and she has her hands out. Her hands almost touch the handlebar of the bike. And the kid keeps pedaling.
Is this kid white or black?
It's black kid. He just keeps pedaling.
Was she white or black?
She's white. And so she's like backing up, and he just keeps pedaling like he's pedaling down the street. And she's like backing up, and he backed her all the way out of the store. And
I can't even.
And I'm like, all right, so I can't hit a kid in that instance? Because he would have got the uppercut of life. This kid would have ended up a deep thinker after I uppercut him. He would have thought about the meaning of life.
So in that instance, I will look around to see where's this child's mother. I don't see a child's mother. I'm lying. I'm knocking that kid off the bike. I'm sorry. I'm lying. Like, dude, what you doing? Like, I don't like, and I let kids know, like, I fight kids. Like, I don't care how old you are. Like, you're not about to, nah, I will fight your little ass. Like, no. Like, I can't, the fact that he pushed her out of the store, where was everyone else? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, yeah, I would just have to be fighting this little kid. And I wouldn't get in trouble for it because, yeah, that's just how I am. I like the fake policy that you came up with.
Right. So my policy is, if you're not going to control your kids, then you shouldn't. Then if nobody else can hit them, if you believe that no one else should be able to touch your kids, then in that same token, your kids shouldn't be allowed in that place.
I agree with that.
Like, if you can't discipline your kids, then both you and your child have to leave.
Yeah, like, and leave them at home. And if you don't have a babysitter or whatever, then you're just gonna have to start shopping online. Because that's not okay. Like,
I'm gonna tell you a story. Not to cut you off. Go ahead.
It's okay.
So I'm gonna tell you a story. When I used to live in Australia, there was this kid who I was taking a 12-hour train ride from Sydney to Melbourne, and so the train. I mean, it is what it is. It's like, it's cramped. It's the train, right? There was this kid. He was like maybe 5. He was old enough to not be crying. He cried for 10 of the 12 hours. 10 of the 12 hours, and he had lungs. So he was like, ah! Like, for 10 hours, people had their ears covered. They were holding their ears.
Gosh.
And, like, literally, it's the only time in my life where I thought it was like, I was like pulling out my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yo, I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I fell asleep for a second, and it's high pitched. You know how kids are, they have high pitched voices. And so I fell asleep for a second, and I was dreaming about it. And I was like, so I woke up, and I was like, yo, I'm about to lose my mind. I'm about to lose my mind. Like, the parents were just ignoring him. Just ignoring him.
Were they the type to, like, let him cry it out type? Or?
He cried for 10 hours. And he was too old to be crying. That's the thing. Like, he was too old to be crying, but he was being a brat. And his parents just ignored him. And it's not a plane where it's like a max you deal for 4 or 5 hours. It was like a train where I was like, yo, they got to kick him off.
Yeah. At that point, like, that's when you get the conductor involved, because it's like, if I feel myself getting to a point where it's like, I'm about to go off and it's not about to be pretty. Like, someone else needs to step in before I get to that point. 10 hours, though? 10 hours?
You. And that was
that's driving from Chicago to Atlanta.
I'm telling you, and it's the thing that's so crazy about it. At that time, I didn't really like wear headphones like that, because it wasn't like a like early 2000, like early, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like 2009.
Yeah.
People weren't really into Beats headphones and stuff like that.
I mean,
people weren't just walking around with headphones.
Yeah, well, that's what iPods.
Yeah, so
iPods.
Yeah, that had me like, I was like, dang, man. And ever since then, whenever I travel, I always have headset, because I'm like, yo, if this kid cries. And I've been around kids like newborns. These people were carrying twins.
See, now after an hour, I would have went up to the parent. If it was at least an hour, I would have went up to the parents like, all right, excuse me, like, there are a shitload of other people on this train, and your badass kid won't shut the fuck up. Like, what is going on? Like, and you're not doing anything about that. So either I'm gonna need for you to say something, or I'm gonna say something to his little ass. And you don't want me to say something because I don't have kids, so I don't know how to talk to a child. So
look, I don't know how to be delicate, so I'm gonna tell him to shut his punk ass up. I don't, and as my siblings have more kids, like, I'm trying to be like, like, tone it down, like, realize I can't say everything to the little ones, but damn, like, what do you do in that instance? I'm telling you right now, I'm not sitting there for 10 hours and listening to that. That's not what's about to happen. You a good one for that. That would not be me. Nobody said anything.
Girl, that's her favorite spot.
My cat.
Yeah. Anyways, but you know what? Is it a cultural thing?
What?
Because if that was in Chicago, that wouldn't have happened.
If it was in Chicago, someone would have said something.
Someone
I don't know, though, man.
No.
I've been riding on the train in Chicago, and people be having boom boxes and stuff. They be having music blasting.
This is also true. I feel as though people are at least here, are afraid to say something to
Chicago
people.
Is a crazy city.
Yeah. But if it's like two parents.
Shy at Nam.
And
Syrian war, man.
If there are two parents and their child, like, I'm gonna be polite with it, because I believe you have to give respect to get it. So I wouldn't be rude with it. I would just be like, excuse me. But why is your child like? Is something? I think something's wrong with your kid because they keep crying, and I think that's as nice as I can get in that situation. Now, if I'm past my point, me being nice and like being respectful is extremely hard. Like if I'm extremely annoyed, like I have to have a conversation with God first. Like, Lord, guide this conversation because it might not be pretty.
This was like that Cedric the Entertainer stuff. It's like, I'm not black people, we don't hope, we wish. Cedric the Entertainer, he's like, we don't hope, we wish a motherfucker would be in our seat. So you sitting there like
Man, but I'm all about that policy. I think that should go for stores. Definitely restaurants. Unless it's like a kid-friendly restaurant. Because you can't expect it. Like, you can't
expect science at a kid-friendly restaurant.
But, like, if it's like a high-end restaurant, yeah. This is random, but I don't think kids should be at weddings. Except for, like...
Kids are adorable at weddings.
The flower girl and the ring bearer, that's it.
No, man.
Kids should not be at the reception. Nah.
Kids are super annoying.
They're not gonna be at my reception. I mean, my niece and nephews will be there, but I plan on like
your niece and nephews will
like
be there.
turning up. So
okay,
yeah.
All right, I got one. Okay, I got it. All right, no, we're gonna switch the subject.
Okay.
All right, so I don't know a lot about this. It's only what I've heard through secondhand. You know what I'm saying?
What?
These talking about Chirac, but these California prisoners.
I don't know much about that either. I just thought that was interesting.
So people are upset about this, but
I know.
You know, when I was in law school, your boy happened to have a subject that he was fascinated with. There were 3 subjects I was fascinated with. One was religion and law.
Okay.
All law comes from most common law. And American law comes from the Bible. Mm-hmm. People don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Facts, son. Hashtag facts. Look it up. So people say that because because I have like several channels. And one of the things I said in one of my channels is there's no morality outside of religion. Religions establish morality. Everything else changes with the times. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we think this is cool now, so this is cool. But I don't want to digress. Anyway, so... one of the things I was really fascinated about in law school was medical malpractice, legal research into medical malpractice, and how when it came to medical malpractice, a lot of it happened with prisoners. So with prisoners, they could like cut down your sentence if you let them do medical tests on you, and that's kind of what it sounds like. They're like, "Yo, I'll take a year off your sentence if you let me test this poison on you." Let's say.
Yeah.
And so some of this stuff was downright torture because people were trying to get their sentences down. And so like one person had acid poured in their skin. One person, they were trying to figure out how fast dysentery spread. So they made them drink old stool that was infected with different bacteria and stuff like that.
Like they're getting their sentence reduced, but are they alive? Like
they're alive. This isn't killing stuff, but it's like, you know what I mean? And that actually... this is another one. You're going to get heated about this, but it's another one. So the other thing that bothered me about that is that a lot of people are in positions where it's almost, but you know, like the 13th Amendment abolished slavery except for forms of punishment, but they're in positions where you would call it duress, right? It's duress.
I mean, what other option are you giving them? Like, oh, I'm going to reduce your sentence if you'll do X, Y, and Z.
But at the same time, fighting fire is not that hard. As long as they don't make you run into the fire with, like, the gear on.
How
does she find all these things?
Honestly, like, they train them, but I don't know how well they train them. You know what I mean? Like, and then they pay them $2 a day, is it? Or is it $2 an hour? All I know is they pay them $2, whereas most firefighters, I think the salary is like 70,000. Like, that is, I mean, that to me sounds like slavery, but forced labor. Because it's like if you give someone an option, hey, I know California, I know the whole state has been on fire for a while now, but look, if you want to get out there and help some of these firefighters out, we gonna reduce your sentence. Don't worry, we gonna train you for like a little bit.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like the plot to Armageddon. Yo, we're gonna send them on an asteroid.
I have seen that one.
And hopefully they can solve the problem.
Like I just thought that was interesting. Like, wow, okay, so it's like, what else? You know, it's an interesting show on Netflix. Random, the world's toughest prisons.
Don't get me started. You know I always watch ex-con interviews, and I don't want to get started on that.
I know. I just thought that was interesting that they did that, and it's like now I want to know what other prisons like. What else they offering?
Yeah, man, these people tell you crazy things, but these people make like $1 a week for going out there and actually picking cotton and stuff like that. It's insane.
Yeah.
All right, the last topic we want to talk about today is, you know what? There was something I wanted to talk about.
What's that?
Oh, this is one where I think you put it on there because this actually happened. So this woman got her purse stolen.
Yeah, that's why I put it on there because yeah.
And I didn't see it happen, but I seen the dude run off. And your boy used to be a track star. And I was like, yo, if I took off right now, I could catch this dude. I'm a big cat, right? I've been working out for a few years. I'm like 240. I was like, yo, if I could catch this dude. But I was texting V, and I was like, yo, this dude's getting away. Should I do something? And you like, nah, man, don't get involved. Because as a black man, it's very likely that you'll get accused or you'll get arrested. So, I don't know. But you're right. I think, but it is a shame in this society, like, so much of a stigma for helping people.
It's crazy because you actually wanted to get involved. And you actually probably would have caught up to him and, like, karate chopped him and, like, flipped him down and whatnot.
I'm a martial artist, by the way.
Yeah. But the guy was black, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a black dude.
So
he was an older black dude, though.
But it don't matter. Like, I feel as though, like, if you would have caught up to him, like, they would have thought, like, y'all was involved together. Like, I don't know. I just think, like, that's just stuff black men have to deal with. Like, they can't just, oh, wait a minute, I got to think twice before if I could be a good citizen because society might turn their back on me and then put the blame on me. And that's crazy that it's 2018 and people, black men, still have to go out in society and feel that way. Like, it's crazy.
There was one time, I remember when I was in college, and there was a chick crossing the street. She was crossing the street slow. And in college, like, a lot of people were getting hit by cars. So she was in the street, like, taking her time, and I actually, like, grabbed her and pulled her out, right? Because there was a car coming, so I grabbed her and moved out the way, and she said to me, were you trying to push me in front of that car?
Oh, my gosh.
And that thing, like, since then, I have not wanted to help people. I've not wanted to help people. That was, like, over 10 years ago. And I haven't wanted to help people in like, dangerous situations. And I'm like, yo, I don't want her to get it twisted. I don't want people to get it twisted. Like, someone's getting beat up, and you stop the person who's beating them up, and they're like, that's your friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like a serious allegation.
That was a serious allegation. When I was in Greece, these British dudes were throwing rocks at this lady's house. Like, literally on the rooftop, because they had a bar on the top of the roof. And they were throwing rocks. And so I was in my room talking. I think I was talking to my family. You know what I'm saying? So I get out on the patio. I'm talking to my family, and there's a room full of dudes, right? So I'm sitting there talking to my family. This lady goes, you black bastard. I know you threw that blankety blank on my house, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yo, I'm sitting here talking to my mom. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then people came out the room like, yo, he didn't do it, yada, yada, yada. She's like, you're throwing bottles at my house, da, da, da. I'm calling the police on you, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, damn, I'm in this white country. This chick is like flipping out. Yeah. I'm like, damn, I'm about to go to this. Because the thing about Greece is, it's like I wouldn't call it a third world country, but it's like a second world. Greece is beautiful. It's I think it's the most beautiful place in the world I've ever been to. Greece and New Mexico, two most beautiful places I've ever been. But like, I'm thinking to myself, like, Because this was during the riots, during the austerity measures, when they were borrowing money from Germany and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, man, I can't get stuck in Greece.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't about to get stuck in no prison in Greece. But she ended up not calling the police. But I was thinking to myself, like, yo, this could be a situation that turns foul real quick.
Real quick.
So quick.
However, just so y'all know, Robbie would have caught up to Buddy and put in that work.
Oh, I get it in. Anyway, y'all, you know what? Thank you for tuning in. You have been an amazing audience. I'll holler at you next time. So will V.
Yeah, I'll be here. That was my last. I was gone last week, but
I skipped the week before posting it since we didn't have nothing last week. But all right, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, however you view us or consume our content. I will holler at you later, and so will V. Peace.
Sure will.
Sure will.